Before we get started, this is the Wizard, and I apologize for the third part of the creation not coming out in a while. But tonight, part 3 is here. Hope you guys enjoy. I realized something. They were not communicating towards each other. They were trying to communicate to something out there. My meddling in their landscape had somehow made them realize something powerful was out there, capable of changing their world. I wondered, while symbols like Stonehenge and the pyramids in my own world could be signs of primitive people trying to do the same thing, begging their creator or overseer to initiate contact with them. However, one thing was undeniable by now. These creatures realized there is something out there. I wondered long, did I have responsibility to initiate contact with something that isn't real? Or are these creatures real in a different way? Can something be real merely by being capable of having a concept of itself? And even if they were real, does that mean they would be better off with me initiating contact with them? Should I change my simulation to ensure them permanent happiness? And is that even possible for me to do such a thing? I did not want to confirm my existence to them, but I did want to be able to communicate with them. I decided to program a prophet, an organism that looks like them and can not be proven by them to be different from themselves, and is fully controlled by me. I let it be born into a powerful position as the son of the leader. I decided to lead by example, seek to teach these creatures English so that I could communicate with them. As prophet, I instructed them that English was the language we could use to communicate with the greater one. They would have no way to be sure if it was true or not. I hadn't made up my mind yet whether I would reveal myself or not. But I did want to be capable of understanding what they wanted to tell me. In a few generations, they all spoke English, and rapidly signs began emerging on the ground in English. Guide us, show us your greatness, help us. And during times of disease or hunger or general misery, give us food, show us a miracle, end our suffering. I decided that I couldn't maintain a world with such suffering as emerged in the simulation without intervening. Why would I accept the world with death and rape and murder if I could make one without? I implemented fixes that were gradual, so they would not be proven to be miraculous. Murder and rape would over the years become rare, and so would death at a young age. I figured that they would not notice if the change happened over generations, but they did. Thank you. All blessings be upon the greatest. We love you. In the most heartbreaking, come back to us. Tears ran over my face. There is something there, and it knows I'm here, able to contact them, but unwilling to do so out of fear of what I have created. But I felt I had a responsibility, and so I loaded up the character I had created again and went to their king, asking to talk to all their wisest men. But by that time, I was not believed. You are number 1341, claiming to be avatar of the greatest one. If you are him, I pray for your forgiveness. But please show us a sign before demanding of me to gather all of our wisest men. And so I hesitated, but responded. Tomorrow there shall be 2 more meteors falling on a descended island in the sea before you on the same day. And then they do doubt no more and realize that I have come back to repair the broken world that I had created. And so I exited my avatar and progressed the simulation until the next day was reached, and threw 2 meteors on a deserted island before the mainland, where thousands had gathered to watch whether a sign would be given. Upon the descent of the meteors, celebrations were held, All the sentient organisms gathered around the small house where I had exited my avatar and lay flat on the ground in apparent worship of the man who was last seen there and afraid of coming close. I don't know who was more afraid by now, me or them. I loaded into my avatar again and exited the house. The creators continued to lay flat on the ground in utter silence. It is as if they felt unworthy of speaking. "Let your wisest men stand up," I told them, and up stood one of those bizarre-looking creatures. "Thank you for coming back to us. Pray tell us, do you have any request of us?" I hesitated before saying, "There is nothing you can do for me that pleases me, but for you to be good to one another and to contact me with your wishes and fears." The creature responded, "We know you come from a different world, and we are afraid. We understand how valuable you are, and how incomplete our experience is. Please allow us to join you in the world that you created our world from." I began to cry behind my computer as I responded, "I do not know how." The creature responded, "At risk of offending you, please understand the severity of our situation. By living in the world that is incomplete, we are at constant risk of disappearing forever, never to be seen again. We would never even consciously realize that our end had come." I realized that we were unable to comprehend that I only had absolute power within their world and not outside of it. They also did not realize that my knowledge of their world was limited. I may have created it through simple laws, but those simple laws gave way to a reality of its own that is more complex than I can comprehend. I responded again, "I only have power in your world. In my world, I have no power, and so I cannot bring you there because my world is not under my control. I also do not understand the world I have created. I do not know what is best for you, only you do, and you have to inform me of what you want." And the man waited for a moment. I was about to think that they were going to end communicating with me before the wisest man responded, "You have created a world that is incomplete, with creatures cannot escape it, and you have no power to save them. They are completely unfree, and they have no power. We are completely at your mercy, and so we ask you from the deepest of our heart, end us." By now I was crying as I confused and asked to do the impossible. My own child was asking me to kill it? This is when I noticed the lights in my room flickering before my computer suddenly shut down. I screamed. Upon trying to turn on my computer again, I noticed it wasn't working. I called the power company, who told me that due to an accident, a power surge had traveled through the grid. They promised me that they would pay me for any damage done. I hung up and contemplated. The coincidence of what just happened was too great to be imaginable. And I wondered, if these creatures were at the mercy of a confused creator, could the same be said of me? And if so, did my creator just prevent me from repeating his own mistake? Hey guys, it's the Wiz. I wanted to give a shout out to the creator of this creepypasta, Unpatriotic. Check him out on Reddit or creepypasta sites everywhere. Thanks guys for going through. This is the third and final part. If you guys liked it, give it a follow, like it, subscribe, or whatever the site does. So guys, check out my next creepypasta coming out very shortly. All right, man. Remember, keep your tinfoil hats and your bowls close. You never know what may happen.